Welcome back. You're listening to Rhythm FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. Of course, this is Be My Guest, and we have on the line the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. And by just talking to her, and based on what I'm understanding, you have to understand she's a president and not everything she'll want to say on air. I understand, because I know that she's been quiet for quite some time, and you have to understand that, party politics, organizational, the politics within any organization is still politics, same way. But what I'm gathering from the teachers who have spoken to me and just talking to her now, it is very clear that quite a number of teachers are not happy, and the trained graduate, that's a significant bunch. When I say significant bunch, you're trying to attract more trained graduate to the teaching profession. And if they are disgruntled, and I must tell you, they are Canada-looking teachers, United States and so on, then we could be looking at trouble ahead. And if teachers are not comfortable, one teacher spoke to me last night, and I said to her that if the teachers are not, and they don't feel motivated, it will affect the children. And Madam President,
yes, sir.
You know what she said to me? She said to me that Mr. Dab, that Mr. Teacher, they're wicked. So I said to her, if you're working with somebody, you deserve $10 and then give you $1. Would you be happy? They said, no. I said, if you will not be happy, you don't think it will, I'm sure it will affect how you work and how you deal with people at the workplace.
Unfortunately, we do have quite a good group of teachers who are quite feeling despondent, especially those teachers who would have given their years of service, since the compensation review started, the salary, which was another egregious matter at the time at which the teachers got paid, and just even as we're ahead of tomorrow, one day, to see tomorrow is to be payday, so we will see what that will work out. So many persons would have sent their pay stub along our way, and some to me. And one teacher, she's 31 years of service, she's vice principal, and even if she were carrying home $0 on her pay stub, because the reality for some teachers is $0, then Carrica will live from loan to loan.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So even if she were carrying home $0 on her pay stub, what she went home with at the end of the month, March, when she finally got paid, $58,000. What kind of retro could that be? 31 years in the service, right? And there are several other persons who would have gotten less money than they got the previous month. Once they minus the monies they got, plus the monies that they would normally carry home, their net pay, they're seeing less money in their on their pay stub. So something quite is not right. And my question to the nation is, and to the ministries of government that have direct oversight in this particular case, who will go and work out this short change, this cheating of the teachers, their small or great due? Who will ensure that the process is corrected and for the teachers to get back their monies? What persons are, what has been the traditional response of the teacher over the years? Once we have any money business, them just take what them get, and some people will go check it out, and some them just roll over and say, so them always treat way. But it can't be. That can't be our posture. This time around, the teachers need to ensure that what is their fair due. The Ministry of Education, in a meeting we had recently, said that they had a share drive where teachers could upload their concerns. I'm not quite sure how widely shared that was in terms of promoted. Because when I go and ask teachers, have you uploaded through your school, your principal, they said they don't know what I'm talking about. So we're watching to see if that same facility will not be opened, will not be shared for tomorrow for the continued, addressing of these anomalies, as well as for the Ministry of Finance to activate a technical committee where it has representatives of the ministry, its body, the Ministry of Education, and the members of the union to sit down and to treat with the anomalies arising from this whole compensation restructuring exercise.
So, Madam President, are you saying now that based on what you see, there seem to have been some errors in the calculations?
It has to be, sir, because it is just basic maths, even if you're not bright. Yes? And it's just basic maths. Based on what you got, you took home February month, then when you minus it from the new money that you get, and what is left, and you divide it by 12, that could never be the retroactive sum that you are entitled to. Just basic math. Basic. We don't know how we get where we get, but just by basic maths, because we don't know, the government has not, well, to my mind, I have not seen it, where they have shown us, they used to get basic salary of $139,000, then you got a book software of 14,000 plus, then you got a STA of X amount, and any other allowance that you would normally get, we add it up and we increase it by 20%, and that is why you're moving over to this particular this is why you're moving over to this band and this point on the band.
No, man, I don't believe you at all, So are you telling me that you have not been given a formula? And we got
some personas, but if it is that government, we have not, to my knowledge, in terms of receiving something that shows us exactly what we got, a document that says they have taken into account. What taken into account means, I am not quite sure what taken into account means.
So let me ask you, other teachers probably give their thing to you. Are you thinking of, as an association, to have a team of persons? But before you can do that, you'd have to have the formula that they use so that you can at least test a sample of these salaries. Especially
the Ministry of Education has to have some formula, and the Ministry of Finance has it. So that is why I continue to call for the technical committee to be activated at the Ministry of Finance level, where that committee would have representatives, because they did promise that once there were any anomalies, that there would be some reviewing process. So we're asking for that technical committee to be activated at the ministry level, Ministry of Finance level, where you have representatives from the Ministry of Education, representatives from the Ministry of Finance, the TIU team, as well as the representatives from the union, and based on all the pay slips and the stuff that has come into us, because our regional offices, regional officers have been flooded with teachers sending in their pay stub asking for things to be checked, that kind of stuff. And then there was a guarantee of us transitioning to receive at least 10% of that 20% over the 3 years in the first payment that was made in March. Where yet several teachers did not receive that 10%. Who will treat with these anomalies? Will the teachers recover their monies? That is my greatest concern.
The question I'd like to ask is, have they called in an audit committee to review those complaints, to even do a sample? And if the sample shows that a significant amount of those reported anomalies.
I don't know of an audit committee being called in to do all of that. I am just very concerned that there are some things that lull out there, and people make the statement, and the things are made over the years and stuff, and I'm just thinking that, unfortunately, if the teachers do not arise, ensure that their individual situation is taken care of, then the government is banking on our usual posture and response to say, oh, after them always treat, we not never come of it, but it cannot be. This is a new pay structure. You're going into a new paradigm. There is no going back. There are so many teachers who have also called about unsettled matters from the existing, how they how they existed in the system before. One teacher said, Miss, I got a letter from 2021 to say that I am to be paid at seniority 2. She was up to 2023 when we got the money there. She was yet to get $1.
$1. Let me ask another question. When the agreement was signed, was it signed under the condition that if these anomalies came about, it would render that agreement probably voidable? Was that ever put into it to say if there's a problem, you'd have to meet back with them again? Was there anything there in the...
As I said, there was it in the MOU, because it is a MOU, it's not a heads of agreement, it's a memorandum of understanding.
Oh, it's MOU?
And that is instructive in all by itself.
Oh, so it was not a whole... No, that is something new. So you did not sign agreeing to it. It was just an understanding.
It's not a heads of agreement. It's a memorandum of understanding.
So, I don't want to dig too deep. So in it
did say that they would have treat with any anomalies, that to review any anomalies. So these anomalies we're calling for to be reviewed. The post of special responsibility was an egregious one. We are waiting to see. We got a circular on April 17th to say that this is how it is to be calculated, and so we await payment because it was said that the senior teachers or teachers with the post of special responsibility would get their new monies April 2023. So tomorrow we look to see if the senior teachers will get their monies, and the retroactive sums align with same. Where also the remote inducement allowance is an anomaly that needs to be treated with as well. The government, the minister, did say time and time again, we have released to say that he would not have recouped certain allowances. The upkeep is one that is under question. So there are so many things to be addressed by government.
So let me ask you something. Did you perceive, did you pick up that something was not wrong when the agreement was the memorandum of understanding was being signed? And do you think the teachers were sufficiently informed when they voted, or majority? Well, my position, what percentage voted for it, by the way?
In the last vote, quite a few,
I can't remember the figure right now, but
it was 600 and something persons. 600 and...
Yes, but and roughly how many didn't support it?
100 and something didn't support it.
No, that's... No. I will tell you. I don't think we need a comment from you. And these are delegates, right?
Yes.
Good. Now, if 100 did vote, that is significant. I can't tell you how to run your organization, but I would not see that as an agreement signed off by the teachers. You see, it's not just a majority. If you would have to get far more than that, if say probably 10 delegates or something like that, then I would understand, because I would have expected that you would have rallied support and said, guys, let's go with it. And therefore most delegates would have signed. But I'm just thinking that the delegates represent probably thousands of teachers. So that 100 and odd would represent thousands of teachers. So it seems to me, I'm just interpreting now. So it seems to me that agreement could not have been seen as a signed off agreement. That's my position. I might be wrong, and I would love to hear what my listeners think.
Just for whatever it is, the call continues to be for the teachers of this nation to receive a livable wage. If for current intents and purposes, persons feel that this is supposed to be it, personally, I am not convinced that this is a livable wage, especially for the trained graduate, for the classroom teacher.
Right.
It's a particular demographic of teachers, because there are other teachers, other groupings that they're fair to find. Yeah?
I know you probably will not comment on this one, but I will say it
But
publicly.
there are teachers out there who continue to struggle. They live from paycheck to week 2, not week 4, week 2. And they live from loan to loan to loan. When we think about any other grouping of professionals, which grouping of professionals do we pay 7,200 mash per day?
Yes.
Per day. A helper, a day's worker can get $5,000, $6,000 and even more per day, based on the quality work that they go out there and do. A teacher who goes to college for 4 years, study, and many of them have gotten masters. And that's another thing of the graduate allowance that has not been treated with in the understanding, and it is certainly not at a good place in terms of what it is. We're not encouraging the teachers to take on additional studies, and teaching is a profession that you must entertain and facilitate and incentivize persons for doing additional studies, oftentimes out of their own pocket.
Yes.
I was just talking to a colleague on Saturday. She was collecting some documents. She did her undergraduate, and she said, "Miss, I was going to do the masters, but this compensation review has given me no such impetus, because the graduate allowance was rolled in or absorbed, and then it is to be returned 2024. But we used to get 3 increments for it, and now it's gone down to, we used to get 4 increments. Now it's gone down to 1 increment."
Yes.
Right?
By the way, before we go for the break, Madam President, some teachers, and this is something that you probably want to step on at all, because that can cause more controversy within the organization, that some teachers have said to me that the JTA is controlled by principals, and the principals are happy with the increase, but the classroom teachers and the graduate teachers are not happy with the increase.
People are entitled to their opinion.
Yes.
I am a principal, and I've been the principal president who has been calling for a better wage for the teachers.
Yes.
That is inked in history. That is inked in every newspaper you can think of, because my statement was we must all cross over together. So one of the things that we were really pressing in for was a movement for the classroom, for the trained graduate teacher, in such a way that that person is able, because they were getting $151,000 on the old scale at the maximum of the scale. $151,000 a classroom teacher. Yes. After tax and whatever is taken out, 100 and they moved to 167, 178, and they're going to stop at, I think is 190 thereabout. $190,000 is not money, sir. Which professional go home with that at the end of a month? You have to pay. Some people paying student loan, some people paying rent or mortgage.
Right.
You have your children to send, you must pay electricity.
I tell you, Madam President, we have to go for the break. When we come back, there are other issues that I'd love you to look at. Not much time, but there are issues, for example, I hear teachers have been detained, and what is happening there in the classroom. There's this new body that have been set up to deal with professionalism, but I wonder if setting up these bodies will solve the challenge. And we come back, we talk more about that. We're speaking to the president of the JTA, Lasonja Harrison. Welcome back. You're listening to Rhythm FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. This is Spot On, the feature. Be my guest. And of course, my guest is Mrs. Lasonja Harrison. She's back with us. We only have just about 5 minutes left. And I'm sure you want to brief us and to inform us on anything that you haven't said before. Over to you. But ma'am, I would appoint you now the Prime Minister of Jamaica to speak to us for the next 5 minutes.
Mr. Darby, you need to stop it.
Me now stop it, because I know, so you know you have ability. Food.
Oh, the Lord has not given me such revelations, sir. the the teachers' struggle continues, not just our salary, but and unfortunately, this salary one it has implications for the system, the sector. I continue to ask Jamaica what quality education system it wants to see for its children, because if our teachers are despondent, demotivated, and some persons out of their own situation want the best for their own children, and so make the decision that they're going to leave our shores. And I believe you me, people are coming to the shores to recruit these very same teachers whom as a nation we refuse to acknowledge. People would not scrape up incompetent and people who we think serve no purpose to go and put before their own children. So you're telling me those first world countries or those countries, they don't value their children, why they're coming for Jamaican teachers to put in front of their children? So what quality education system do we want for our children here in Jamaica land we love? And while we know that the government may never be able to compete dollar for dollar, hand in hand with, but if you pay the teacher a livable wage, then and improve the working conditions under which our teachers currently work, then our teachers will more than just last week the JTA was handing out some tertiary some grants to basic school teachers that we negotiated recently. $10 million in total. It is a start, but it is to help our colleagues in the early childhood, the foundational level. We must do something about foundation, about the foundational level of education in this nation. Early childhood needs funding. The government, we have close to some 3,000 early childhood institutions in this nation. 400 and odd of them are infant departments, operate directly funded by government. But we have some 2,600 that are still privately owned or partial, quasi private, because the government offers grants and subsidies to these teachers. So it's not entirely true to say that they are private, because some support is given from government. But as a nation, we need to make a decision as to what monies that really need to be invested if we truly say education is our vehicle to out of poverty. If it is we want to develop our greatest resource as a nation, which is our human capital. Nothing beats the innovation, the ingenuity, all the answers, the solutions to the problems that Jamaica is facing lies in our human capital, but that needs nurturing, that needs watering, that needs to be unearthed, and it needs capital to do that. And so we really need to think as a nation, is there too much that we can spend on education? The Patterson report continues to articulate that it's what we spend is adequate, but is it really adequate when every school does not have a nurse, primary school, almost 800 of them, when all primary schools do not have guidance counselors to treat with the myriad of challenges that we see coming to the school community, when it is we continue to have significant parental challenges to our parents' needs.
Oh, by the way, can I just interrupt you there because time is going? I saw part of the Patterson report. I haven't gone through its entirety. It spoke about sexual preference. I'm saying all these reports seem to be mentioning these things. I wonder why. It seems to be very important. And it said that the persons who have certain preferences are being abused. But I think the wrong impression is being given. That I don't think that is so. I just looked at it last week and I saw it. I don't know if you recall seeing that part of it.
Repeat that you said?
The Patterson report mentioned about tolerance in terms of sexual tolerance. And I said to myself,
sexual tolerance?
Yeah, something to that effect. You recall seeing that?
I will have to go and search for,
Yes.
because I'm not quite sure to what that is alluding.
Yeah.
Jamaica remains a Christian country, and our values and that which we embrace in school and certainly continue to share with our children are based on Judeo-Christian principles, and so that is what the Jamaican classroom will continue to articulate and to help our
All
children
right. Guess what?
principles
Take a look at that for me,
national
because I think some of it is probably not that based upon any facts about persons being abused and so on.
Right.
So that's a part. That's what I'm concerned about. I want to thank you very much, the president of the JTA, Lasonja Harrison. We'll talk to you again another day. All the best.
Blessings to you. All right, sir.
Take care then. All right.